Hey, Shannon. So I'm answering your questions regarding your homework, the questions you sent me on July 2nd. And it has to do with the difference of cubes, probably the sum of cubes, as well as there's another one as well I'll answer. So this first one is having to do with number 13. I'm not going to do number 13 yet. Here's what I'm going to do. If I tell you to to factor the sum of two cubes, this is the sum, the addition of two cubes. How is this two cubes? You need to understand that first. And you know your multiplication skills, but that doesn't help you with necessarily knowing what a cube is. A cube is a number multiplied to itself three times, twice. So like 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. That's a cube, a perfect cube. So what we have represented here is x cubed plus 2 cubed. That is what x cubed plus 8 is. This is the representation of it. Utilizing this, all that we have to do, and this is where the whole A, B thing that you were confused by, instead of using A's and B's, use an example. So an example, this would be an example you could put on your note card. And when you go to factor this, you're going to have a binomial, which is 2 terms, and a trinomial, which is 3 terms. Here's the part you need to understand from the lecture that I left. You have to, in the binomial, the two pieces here, you've got to take the base, x, plus, because that's the sum of 2 cubes, plus 2, the base of the other one, which is the cube root of 8, which is 2. All right. So once you do that, take to the base, and x plus 2, that is the first part, and this is for the sum of 2 cubes. For the trinomial you're going to create, and it's never factorable, you're going to square the first, and I'm only dealing with this now. Square the first, and you're going to put that here. Okay. Because this is plus, your middle term in your trinomial needs to be a subtraction, and your third term will be a plus. So for your second term, you're just going to multiply these two together. X times 2, which is 2x. Okay. And then for the last term over here, you're going to square the last. So 4. And that is your factored sum of 2 cubes. Okay. Now I want to do one for the difference of 2 cubes. I'll use a different number. I'm going to use x cubed minus 27. 27 is 3 cubed. 3 times 3 times 3. So bases x will be cubed minus the base of 3 cubed. You're going to start off with your factoring x minus 3. Then in your trinomial, everything is going to be positive, only for the difference of 2 cubes. All right. For now, we're looking strictly at this. Square the first. So x squared, x times x squared. Multiply x times 3, ignore the sign. Just multiply x times 3, which is 3x. And then square your last term. Again, ignore the sign, even if you did, then it's going to be 9. And that is the factored form for the difference of 2 cubes. All right, now I'm going to go to number 13. And this is in Special Products and General Factoring Strategy 07 homework. And it is 3r cubed minus 648. Okay, before you even start doing the difference of 2 cubes, first of all, 3 is not a perfect cube, neither is 648. So the first thing you have to do is, what do they have in common, and factor it out. So 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. These add up to 18. 6 plus 4 plus 8 is 18. It's divisible by 3, so 3 can be factored out. And it is 648 divided by 3 is 216. Okay. All right. So now we have to figure out what the bases are for the cubes. We've got r that's cubed minus, we need to figure out what is the cube for 216. Well, to do that, You could just sit there and try 4 times 4 times 4, 5 times 5 times 5, 6 times 6. Or you could go 216. Now yours is, I think you have the TI-30XA. You're going to have to use x to the y. I think that's the one you have to use is x to the y. I'm going to use caret to get me to my exponent. And then you could put parenthesis 1 divided by 3, close parenthesis, equal. And it is 6. To find the cube of the number, put in the number. You're going to use either y to the x or x to the y. I can't remember what it is for your TI-30XA. I'm going to use caret, parenthesis 1/3, 1 divided by 3, close parenthesis, equals. Okay, and that will find you your cube root. And that is 6. So our bases are r and 6. So to factor this, oh, can't forget our 3. It's r minus 6 for our binomial. And our trinomial, everything's going to be positive. It's going to be squaring the first, r squared. R times 6 is 6r, just multiply them together. And then 6 squared is 36. Okay, so you're going to take your r and square it. Plus, you're going to go r times 6 plus 6 squared. That's how you're getting this next step. Okay, and that is the factored form. All right, you had one more question in here. There's 13. Okay. Okay, this one's different. So this one isn't the cubes. I'm going to come down here and go 8x squared y plus 28xy plus 12y. Okay, the first thing you need to do anytime you're looking at factoring something is what do they have in common? So they all are all divisible by 2. Will 4 go into all of them? 4 goes into 8, 4 goes into 28, 4 goes into 12, and 8 doesn't. So 4 is going to be factored out. But something else is as well. They all have a y. So I'm factoring out 4y. And when I do that, 4 goes into 8 2 times, and I'm left with x squared. The y is gone. Plus 4 goes into 28 7 times. I'm left with an x. The y is gone. Plus 4 goes into 12 3 times. The y is gone. All right. The next thing you want to do is see if this trinomial will factor. It looks like it does. So 2x and x. Now, that has to be like that because 2 and 1 are the only things that go into 2. So there has to be a 2x and an x. All right. The next piece, I'm ignoring the 4y. The next piece is I have a 3. So the only factors of 3 are 3 and 1. So either I need to put a 3 here and a 1 here, or a 1 here and a 3 here. Well, I need whatever goes on here will give me a 7x. So I'm going to choose a 1 and a 3 because I know 3 times 2 is 6x and 1 times x is 1x. When you add them together, you get that middle term that you want. So put your plus signs in there since everything's positive, and that is your factored answer. Well, let me know. There's also the AC method you could use for this as well, if you don't like to do the trial and error. All right. The AC method would be where you take the 2 times 3, and that is 6. All right. And what you would have to do is, what are the factors of 2 and 3? Well, they are of 6, and that is just either 6 and 1, or 2 and 3. All right. 6 and 1 is what we need to get our, hold on, 2x squared plus 6x plus 1x plus 3. So I use the 6 and the 1 to fill in for my 7x. I could have gone 1x minus 1x plus 6x, and it doesn't matter either way. Now you have to look at the first 2 terms. If this is confusing you, then don't do it. Do the other way. What do they have in common? You need to factor that out. And this is going to be separate. So they have 2x in common, leaves you with x plus 3. And then the other one, you factor out, well, you don't factor anything else. You're just factoring out a 1, and that is x plus 3. Now you look at this term and this term, and they have x plus 3 in common. So this is going to be 4y, x plus 3. When you factor out the x plus 3 from both of these, you're left with 2x plus 1. Same thing as that one. All right. Let me know what further questions you have. Happy to help.